How is Social Security funded? Social Security isn't a pile of cash with your name on it. It's actually funded by payroll taxes. 6.2% from you, 6.2% from your employer, and if you're self-employed, it's 12.4% that you pay. That money flows into two trust funds, one for retirees and survivors, and then one for disability. Here's the problem. Those funds are now paying out more than they're taking in. The question that you should be asking is, so when does the money actually run short? The Old Age and Survivors Insurance Trust Fund, the one that pays retirement benefits, is projected to be depleted by 2033. At that point, it can only cover about 77% of the benefits. The combined funds, retirement plus disability, are projected to hit depletion in 2034, covering only about 81% of the benefits. So what we have here is showing you this is actually the area that you can go to, and the Social Security website will include the link in the show notes that talks about the Social Security Board of Trustees projection for combined trust funds 1 year sooner than last year. So everything that we're talking about is all right here. So you can go to their website and get this information for yourself. But the bigger question isn't just when this happens. The big question is, what does this mean for you? The check you depend on, and we'll see that in just a moment. Now, depletion doesn't mean Social Security disappears, because payroll taxes are still coming in. But without changes from Congress, retirees face automatic cuts at around 19%. For many, that's the difference between paying bills comfortably and having to cut back, or that vacation you've been taking, or the money that you've been helping your kids or grandkids with. So this is a big deal that we need to pay attention to. So why is this happening? So how does the biggest retirement program in America run short? It comes down to the math. In 1950, there were 16 workers supporting each retiree. Today, it's just over 2. People are living longer, collecting benefits for more years, and once high earners hit the payroll tax cap, they stop contributing for that year. Social Security was never designed to pay out like it does today. It was designed to supplement with things like your savings and retirement accounts. One of the big problems is that too many people rely on Social Security to make up 70, 80, 90, and even 100% of their retirement income. Now, all of this means is the system is paying out more than it's bringing in. So let's put this in the real numbers. Let's just say you're expecting $2,000 a month, and a 19% cut drops it to about $1,620 a month. Over 20 years, that's nearly $90,000 gone. Now, for a couple expecting about $3,500 a month, that's about $665 missing every single month. Even that's just an estimate. Next, I'll show you live inside a retirement planning tool how this plays out for someone's future, and more importantly, how you should be thinking about this in case it happens. Let's not just talk about theory, let's actually see it. So here, what we're gonna do now is take you through our planning software with a hypothetical client showing what if this actually happened. Now, nobody knows if the Social Security Trust Fund is actually going to be depleted when they say it is. When it comes to retirement planning, we're always planning for the worst case circumstance, because you don't want to have it happen all of a sudden. You're like, okay, well, where am I going to get this money, right? I have to pull more from my savings. You plan for the worst, you hope for the best. When we're meeting with prospective clients, we are actually taking them through this scenario, because some people that we meet with definitely think that their Social Security benefits can be adjusted over time. So let's go through this. This is Tim and Tammy sample. Again, this is a hypothetical client. You can see they've got about $1.5 million. 1.3 of that 1.5 is all in retirement accounts, 401k, Roth, and a traditional IRA, so that you understand how we've built this out, right? So both of these prospective clients are 58 years old. We are delaying Social Security till their full retirement age, right? So what we want to show here is the impact of that 19% hypothetical cut in Social Security. And then what we're going to do is we're going to show you how we plan for that. So here we are, they're both 58 years old and they want to retire at 67, right? And that's when we're going to turn on their Social Security, because for Tim and Tammy, they wanted to turn it on at their full retirement age. That's when their full retirement benefit is not being reduced. We look at their financial priorities. They're looking for retirement planning, investment management, minimizing taxes and not running out of money. And they both want about $90,000 in retirement, should be at age 67, modeled for inflation. And you can see that they have about $40,000 from each from Social Security at 67. And then Tim has a pension of about $20,000. So they have good, defined, predictable income. So now let's go into their cash flow report. The first thing that we're going to go through is what we call base facts. Base facts is nothing has changed, no Social Security reduction. And you can see at age 67, when they both want to retire, they have a small income gap, meaning that their desired retirement income modeled out for inflation minus their Social Security benefit and pension. You can see everything the red's an income gap, which they can pull from their investments. So not too big of an income gap. Again, you can go back and watch one of our previous episodes. The 3-bucket approach talks about how you can solve for income gaps so they have more predictable income. But in this scenario, we're saying their income gap is small. And then you can see here their income gap goes away at 75 is because they have their RMDs. So we're not talking about tax planning here. We're just going to talk about Social Security. But you can see that their RMDs are going to push them into a higher tax bracket. And we've recorded plenty of episodes on tax planning and future RMDs. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to compare the Social Security reduction when we labeled it Social Security 81% payout to no changes in Social Security, so you can see the difference in their gap. So 2034, they're turning on Social Security. In this hypothetical example here, they're only getting 81 cents on the dollar. You can see that their income gap is much larger, right? So what they're going to have to do is take on more risk in their portfolio or take bigger distributions. I don't think is the right way to do it, right? You've heard about the 4% rule. Don't take out more than 4% of your portfolio, you'll be okay. And everyone's situation is different. Maybe you don't have a pension, right? Maybe your income gap is going to get bigger. Ideally, for us at BAM Advisory Group, we do not want you to have an income gap at all, because remember that middle bucket, that income bucket, really should be that bucket for defined predictable income that isn't correlated to the stock market. You're not taking on as much risk to get that income, right? So that you can see with that reduction now, all of a sudden you have a bigger income gap. And the challenge is that if you have that income gap and we all don't know what the market's going to do on a given day, you could be taking withdrawals from your investment accounts that we're having to sell stocks or mutual funds that are going down. That's not the best way to do it. So what we want to do now is compare that reduction in Social Security to what we call a defined income strategy, meaning we understand that Social Security is going to be reduced. And essentially, again, the strategy to the right, which is defined income, now we're solving for that income gap. We're solving for that Social Security reduction. All we're doing is removing some of the money that's in your growth bucket into your income bucket. Now we don't have that income gap. And again, that middle bucket, that income bucket, is all about defined income. So we've already planned for it, we've prepared for it, so that if this happens, you're not having to dip into your retirement accounts that are subject to market volatility to make up for that, 19% cut in Social Security. So again, smart financial planning, looking forward, planning for income, because let's say we plan for the income, we don't need it, you could just let the money grow, right? Think of your income bucket as a light switch. You could turn it on and off as needed. So what do you actually do with this information? Well, the biggest mistake is doing nothing or procrastinating. Think about how many times you've procrastinated something in your life and what happened down the road. Hoping Congress fixes it isn't a strategy. If cuts come and you haven't planned, your portfolio is exposed. So here are some ways to prepare. Diversify your income streams so you're not reliant on Social Security and pensions alone. Max out retirement accounts like IRAs and 401ks if you're still working. Consider delaying Social Security every year you wait that your benefit grows, and build flexibility into your plan so you can adapt to changes. Preparation is the difference between a stressful retirement and a confident one. The countdown to 2034 has already started. Millions of Americans will depend on Social Security, but the math say cuts are possible. Social Security's website even tells you as much. And waiting for Washington isn't a plan. Now you've seen it, what the problem is, what it looks like inside a real plan, and the steps you can take to prepare. Your retirement shouldn't depend on politics. It should depend on preparation and smart planning. The earlier you start, the stronger your position. 2034 isn't that far away. The time to prepare is now. If you're curious about how we help people protect what matters most in their retirement, and you just want to see how our process works for you, give us a call or visit our website at www.bamadvisorygroup.com. You can schedule a 15-minute, no cost, no obligation, no pressure phone call with one of our advisors to get all of your questions answered, to understand your options, and for us to be able to provide you with more information and clarity. And if you're enjoying the show, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you all real soon.